Alright, let's go ahead and graph this one right here. H of x equals square root of 4x plus 1. I'm going to find the x-intercepts first. I'm going to do this algebraically by making y equal to 0. 0 equals, right, h of x is just a fancy way of saying f of x, and f of x is just a fancy way of saying y equals. So I have 0 equals the square root of 4x plus 1. To get rid of the square root class, I'm going to do the power of 2 to both sides. 0 squared is, and this will cancel, so you're left with 4x plus 1. Then you just go ahead and solve. Negative 1 equals 4x, and divide by 4. X is equal to negative 1/4. Raise your hand if you got that. Remember, this is an ordered pair, the x-intercept, so it's saying that your x is going to be negative 1/4 and your y is going to be 0. So let's make that green. Okay, I'm going to go over here now. I'm going to do a y-intercept, so I'm going to make now x equal to 0. So h of 0 equals the square root of 4 times 0 plus 1. Remember, if you're intimidated by that, just keep writing. I'll show you in a second. 4 times 0 class, it's, and 0 plus 1 is, and the square root of 1 is 1. So h of 0 equals 1. That's just a fancy way of saying 0, 1 as our y-intercept. Raise your hand if you got that one. So if you put this into your calculator to give you guys an idea, you may have written those as fractional exponents, 4x plus 1 to the 1/2 power. Okay? So recognize that it's not a whole number if you did that way. So I'm going to type in the square root. So here's my calculator. Zoom out. Second x squared button. Now I'm going to type in 4x plus 1. And then I'm going to press zoom 6. Here's my graph. On the x-axis itself, I can use this as my x minimum. So I'm going to use negative 1. Whoops, I don't know what happened. Go to negative 1. X max, go maybe 5. Count by ones. Minimum. Notice that there was nothing below the x-axis, so y minimum, negative 1. Max, that's fine. Press graph. So this should give you a basic graph there. Let's go ahead and graph this. On the x-axis, I'll count by fourths. So this is 1/4, so I'll call this negative 1/4. So that's the point we just found as our x-intercept. I'll count by fourths as well, going this direction. So then I have 0, 1, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, or 1/4. That is my y-intercept. And then if I just kind of graph that, something like this. And remember that this is a closed circle, so that's going to include it. Raise your